Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight, we are running a scenario from Cthulhu Dark Ages. It is entitled Eseweald, and it is included in the 3rd edition of the game. It was written by Chad Bowser and Andi Newton. Our game master is Chase Capener, and this is a one-shot. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Chase?
Father Wolfwick, we find you in a candle-lit scriptorium. You're actually producing a Vulgate Latin Bible, a very tedious task. It's typically reserved for monks. You, a deacon, have been given the privilege to undertake in the last couple months, partially as a means to improve your written Latin to better communicate in letters. Can you give me a Latin reading writing roll?
Sure. Oh, 14. That is, where is Latin? That is hard, almost an extreme.
Your mind drifts into the menial task. You're in the Gospel of John. Jesus has claimed to Pilate to perhebam veritati, or testify to truth. In the complete Vulgate before you, it reads, Dicit e Pilatus quid est veritas. In other words, Pilate responds, what is truth? Just as you finish scripting the S in veritas, the silence is broken as someone enters the scriptorium, almost faltering your hand and making the entire parchment you've toiled over unusable. Hello, Deacon?
Yes, my son, what can I do for you?
We have word from the Thane. He wants a holy man on his mission that he is establishing, and I am too frail to go myself.
I'm hardly holy. I'll go. And I pull the protection down over the work that I'm working on. I get up. I probably have a satchel that I carry stuff in. I throw it over my shoulder and I inform whoever I need to inform that I'm going.
Leofled. Your house is filled with all your supplies and the aroma of dried herbs and freshly made unguents hang heavy in the air. You are applying leeches to Gothlaf, the herder, in an attempt to cure him of his many cysts. I've been roaming from Totber to Corduwon and places further afield and tending my flock. I've dined with strange folk in those woods. There was a couple and their daughter. I don't think they were outlaws, just strange folk.
Country folk vary. Were they strange friendly, strange wise, strange disturbing?
They disturbed me. I can't quite explain why. They didn't mean me any harm. In fact, they fed me. They had a very odd daughter.
Well, where you said? How far from Totber?
Maybe a quarter a days into the woods.
When you say the daughter was odd, do you mean that she was ailing in some way? Do you think she needs care?
He opens his mouth to speak, and before he can finish his words, Svein, the leader of the Hartweru, the Thane's personal guard, walks in and says, Leofled?
Aye.
They're looking for a healer. On a journey they are going to set up, the Thane, that is. Would you be willing to go, or should I ask the other one?
If the Thane has bidding, If the Thane has bidding, I have time. How far is the journey?
The The Thane will be able to explain this, but the journey should only be a day's march.
Will the Thane have audience for us?
Yes. In fact, he takes a look at your patient and says, how long will this take you?
I think we're nearly done. I have a travel bag ready.
Well, get there as soon as you can, all right?
Very good. Good day.
Sighelm and Goadbald, you are patrolling outside the stone wall. The stone wall is on the western side of the settlement. And this is a job usually relegated to just the Hartwedu. But the Hartwedu's numbers has shrunk recently as they've been put on some mission you're not fully aware of. So you're supplying with this average guard here. It's just a guard of the gate. And you're patrolling down the stone wall. I would like you both to take a spot hidden check.
I got a pass.
Ooh, pass as well. Oh, regular.
Then you both see this. In the distance, what you see is it's docked. It's not moving, but there's no mistaking what it is. It is about as far as your vision can stretch, a single Viking longship. They have never been this ambitious. In all of your history of patrolling here, you don't think you were patrolling for Norsemen.
Goodness.
My eyes, they're not deceiving me, Sighelm.
No.
Are they?
No, that does not look good.
We must alert the Thane.
Immediately. Shall I stay and keep eyes on it?
Yes, I will inform the Thane Oswin.
Colwig, you are trying to barter with your furs for a particularly fine necklace to buy from Cluclellan. It seems to be an old coin. One with any history knowledge would understand this to be a Roman coin set into bark as a gift to potentially win back your old flame, Aelfber. Her father still supports the marriage, but not without her approval as well. Cluclellan, your appraisal is that what you have here is worth more than he's brought with him.
I'm sorry, Colwig. I just for what you have, I can't. I have to eat too, you know.
Oh, but I mean, think of when it grows cold. How if you can hang on to these furs, the people that will want to buy them to stay warm. But that necklace, I must have it. With that, I'm sure I could win back Aelfba.
No, I mean, if you, it's just a couple. I mean, I don't know if you had something. Oh, dare I say a bigger pelt or a few more rabbits, then maybe this would be a different conversation. But just you can't do it for just the fox and the rabbit.
Colin, you don't understand how long I had to hunt for these. The game has become wiser to me. They hear me coming now, it seems.
Well, it's a fine necklace, and it might give you a little more motivation to devise some new hunting methods, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. But what more would you need? I'd like to try and ensure that I can get the product. Mm-hmm.
Interrupting you, the market reeve. There aren't that many big, heavy-set people at this time, but the market reeve is this heavy-set man named Whitgar, and he approaches. He says, "Good luck. What good luck? Colwig and Cluclellan. The Thane actually has asked me to He wants you in his attendance. I think it's of some urgency. I think you should go see him as soon as possible.
Oh,
I want an audience with the thing, and I won't decline, no matter the circumstance.
nor shall I. Let's press on.
You all find yourself in the Thane's long hall. He's a normally calm Thane. He's a rather just ruler in your experience, but he is beside himself in frustration. And he tosses his goblet on the ground and says, I have had enough of these Gwentish soldiers burning my land. And Godbald and Sighelm have just told me that they've seen Norse longships to add more to my woes. I sent a delegation, including my own son, to the Gwentish land, to Corduwon. They're gone. They're missing. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and it's a 1 day's travel. What does that mean?
They fell upon, I fear they fell upon a tragedy. Sorry.
He shows his gold armbands and he says, my son was carrying armbands of these value to give to them. What, they took it and killed them? It was supposed to be a gift.
Keeper, can I roll my knowledge of my other kingdom's knowledge of Gwent?
Yeah.
Well, an 89 is not going to cut it.
What you would know, even with a fail, is you speak Chimeric, and they do as well. So you think that one of the reasons most likely why the Thane would be interested in your help specifically is as a translator, as a speaker for this.
I assume I've done some traveling through there.
Right, absolutely.
Do they strike me as the murder first, ask questions later type?
The Market Reeve has described them as quick to draw blades, but in your experience, he is bristly, and you haven't had that negative of experience with them.
Well, he's concerned for his son.
Well, my Thane, I would happily undertake a journey into Gwent and ask them. I speak their language. I've had dealings with them in the past. They know me.
Don't think you won't be rewarded, all of you. You will be under the leadership of Godbald here. He is one of my Hartweru, and I trust him with all of your lives. Father, I want you there as a spiritual presence.
Perhaps we can talk some sense into them. Hopefully they're as God-fearing as we are.
Colwig, you know your way around the woods. Leofled, if anyone gets hurt along the way, I thought it would be good to have you as well. Sighelm, you are a very vigilant guard. He relaxes in his chair. He was pacing around and sort of tossing objects in the room. He sits down in his chair and sort of relaxes, and he says, I want my son back to bury if he is dead.
In Oswin, we shall ready ourselves and leave at once.
We shall pray for his safe return.
Before you leave on the journey, it's actually only morning. So before you leave on the journey, is there anything any of you would like to do in Totber?
Well, I'd like to first of all gather them together just outside the castle and give them all a blessing. And sprinkle them with holy water.
Thank you, Deacon.
Thank you, Father.
You, Deacon.
Let
I
us
think-
study the pathway to that community.
Colwig actually knows his way as well as Pluclellan, because they've been around those parts. So you can use their aid to be able to find it for sure.
Are there any notable features between here and there?
The forest has a very bad reputation. It's thought of as being unholy by the religious, or by the mystic. It is thought as being cursed. It's thought as being of it has some sort of dark spirit. It doesn't have a good reputation.
From a patrol standpoint, is it dangerous bandit wise or beast wise? Or would my patrols know of such?
You might be able to roll an own kingdom if you want to try that.
Imagine.
Oh, 98. I'm not even going to look to see what my whole kingdom.
Could I
I
attempt?
imagine bears
Yes.
and wolves and things like that will still exist.
93.
Both of them.
It is a place you don't want to spend the night in. It's best to travel through during the day.
I shall get horses prepared for all of us.
I will help with that. Got balls.
I guess I qualify as a mystic. Should I make an occult roll to see what I think about those woods?
Yes, absolutely. You can go for that.
That's excellent. That's it's a hard, not an extreme.
You've heard stories of groups that have gone together, and a strange light has shined in the distance and has drawn some away from the main group, never to return.
Hmm. And is this the same direction that the fellow found the weird family? Is it the woods?
Yes, that is there as well.
Yeah. We Godbold, there may be perils that have nothing to do with the people of Gwent in the forest there. I was just told of an uncanny family somewhere deep in the forest. So we should be mindful as we travel.
Yes, we will remain extra vigilant. Now, these perils along the path, do we have any protections against them?
Of course, we
Besides
have God
vigilance?
on our side.
Yes.
The spirits of the woods are the old spirits, the spirits in league with the devil, and so our faith will drive them away. I'll bring holy water.
I always have my bow. Maybe I'll see some good fur, animal fur.
Well, and meat to eat.
Yes,
Oh.
I will make sure that we pack extra supplies.
I'll make sure to bring something of value, just in case if it is that if this delegation didn't make it, and we do, we could still leave a token of peace in Gwent.
I will bring the blade of Edric.
Oh, Godbold, lead on.
Off we go. I will take the front of the pack.
I will ride near you, Godbold, so as I know the way.
Excellent.
You leave Totber as a group, and As you are passing by, you were in the manorial church, which is near the Thane's residence. But there's also a parish church as well, and you know of an anchorite that lives walled up there. And as you're passing by, you hear some rambling come from it. And it's a man's voice. It's the anchorite. And he says,
"Rouse not the honeyed lord with bone crown, for he has killed all that in battle sweat drowned. The feeder of ravens must tread carefully, lest he be the feeder of tree sponge."
That is not from the Bible. But it may have some portent to our travels, for these anchorites are touched by God. And though it may seem like foolish rambling, sometimes God is trying to tell us something through them.
An omen.
Keep it within your minds, what he has said, what you can remember of what he said.
Was not the honey lord with bone crown. Does any of this have any occult resonance?
you can make a cult roll, yes.
That's a 92, so news to me.
As you pass your way into the woods, the Forest of Dean is what it's called, and it's a massive old forest. When you get further into it, it just feels like it's not quite day. The light is so it's so reduced by the canopy that it just feels later than it is. Can I have one person who roll a track roll? Whoever is tracking for the group.
I can do that. That is a hard.
Even as the road seems to vanish at places, Colwig knows his way around and is keeping you on the path. Colwig, off the side of the road, you actually notice something quite interesting, which is it seems to be some gear, like martial gear. And on closer inspection, it actually appears to be not martial gear from here. It's Norse martial gear in the middle of this forest.
I kind of pointed out to Godbold. I was like, look at this. Didn't you mention you saw a Norseman?
Yes. I fear this might be scouting gear. Norse.
Does it look like it's been abandoned, or was it kind of stowed away?
It does look like it's been abandoned. For the most part, a lot of it is stuff that one would abandon. It's like broken arrow shafts or drinking containers that have been sliced open, various things like that. But there is like definitely a shield at the very least that is Norse in its inscription.
And it looks like it's seen battle.
Yes.
Recent battle, or?
That would be hard to tell, but
how about how long it's been resting here? Is the grass beneath it pale from shadow? Are there crushed branches?
You would guess it's its placement here, it's not overgrown.
Mhm. Does it seem like one person's material, like a scout, or does it seem like there was a skirmish and several people dropped things and moved?
You don't think this is the site of a conflict. It does seem like all of this could be a single person's, but the chances would be definitely more than one. If it was one person, they let a lot of stuff go at this particular spot.
Colwood, is there any sign you can make out of someone leaving the path in this direction?
I kind of look around and see if I spot anything like that.
Yeah, give me a tracking roll again.
Oh, 0-8. That's an extreme.
You do find there are tracks that lead away from here, off the road, deeper into the forest, into the farther dark. They'll fled. There is, but if they went in there, then we don't need to be worried about them. The forest would have taken them.
Must have been a very desperate person to move off this track, which is itself a fairly gloomy and lonesome way to go off into that forest. I have heard that people have been drawn into the woods by eerie lights. Perhaps someone was driven to madness by whatever sprites live out there in the dark.
It could be, or it could be someone who believed themselves to be extremely competent in their scouting abilities.
Well, anybody who's confident in Fey country is a fool.
Perhaps all of that, but couldn't it also be a spy of some sort, gathering information, reconnaissance, and then returning it to their people?
It could be, especially with spotting that longship out there. Very recent.
Does going through the woods this way get back to the river or the coast?
No.
I don't know why a North Scout would.
Because a
Heading
North Scout
away.
wouldn't know where it goes.
It would just go inland until it finds a place worthy of looting and pillaging, and then it would go back to its boat and report. Here's a great
So
target.
he may be coming back this way then. If it is a spy and he's not lost to the woods and its denizens.
Now, if you think we could track this Norseman down, maybe we could slit his throat if we could. Actually, that would take us off our path.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll make note of it, Sieghelm. We must continue on this path.
Is a shield a good shield's probably worth having.
It's battered, but definitely not unusable.
Oh,
We have horses.
I'll pick it.
Yes, I have an extra horse just for supplies.
Actually, it would be good too, in terms of making it clear to others that we found Norse goods here on the wrong side of everything.
Oh, I'll take it.
Though if we do show up at their community with one of their battered shields, that might.
Well, the Gwen isn't Danish, are they?
No, they're Chimeric people.
So yeah, in fact, they might. Showing that we are also foes of the Norse might help,
Very well.
and now that they're in the area, that's another. I mean, that's cause for peace, I think.
True, a common enemy.
You make your way through the woods several more hours, and you eventually do arrive at Corduwon. Corduwon is quite like Totbur. Those of you, two of you who have been here, recognize it immediately. It's surrounded by a wooden palisade, but it seems like the town is on war footing. Like they seem to be preparing for conflict. There are men that are being sort of like gathered together and given weapons. And as you pass, it's not like they recognize you, but as you pass them by, it seems like they're sharpening swords and arrows. It seems like there is a conflict brewing of some sort in an immediate future.
Perhaps they've become aware of the Norsemen and they are preparing themselves in case.
Well, is there somebody who looks like they're in a position of authority?
Yeah, you come across someone who appears to be in finer wear, and they actually probably seem to be a market reeve of something like the one you know in your own town, just watching over transactions. And you approach them.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're a stranger here?
I have been here before. My name is Kuklin.
I think I do remember you. Yes, it's coming to my mind. Oh, I know where you're from. I think you should speak with the Thane.
Yes, it would be an audience with the Thane here would be appreciated.
All right.
Do you know if the son of the Thane of Tothbury has been here in the last 2 weeks?
Do you speak Kynric, or are you asking?
I actually do have Kynric.
Here's the situation. This brewing you see about you, they are bound for you.
Say, there has been some strife or misunderstanding. Do you know of the Viking in the forest?
Viking in the forest. Is
We
this a
found-
story?
No, we found evidence of a Viking between here and Totbur, and I'll go for the shield.
Yes, we know of the Norse.
I see, but yes, if we could have an audience with the Thane.
Yes, I will bring you to him.
I'll say to Godbald in English. It looks like they're preparing to go back to take these weapons of war to Totbur. Things are.
Yeah.
Just be wary.
Most worrying.
They
vigilant.
must think that Totberg has caused them some problem.
You
Let's
will find out.
let's
We
work
might-
this out.
Sure.
Thing.
Are we giving in? Oh, sorry.
He's going to bring us to the Thane, so at least there's some willingness to communicate.
Are we getting dirty looks from the crowd around at all?
They once you actually are speaking English, you are. To those you have yet to speak English to, they don't really know who you are. You were brought into the hall, and Ironwar, the leader of Corduwon, he is a huge honey blonde haired man. He sits in his chair with numerous stag antlers covering the wall behind him. To his side stand several Norsemen.
Whoa.
I am Godbold. I am a Hearthguard of Thane Oswin.
You are.
Yes.
How dare you? How dare you? What do you come here for? To be killed? What are you, mad?
We are coming here to find out about Oswin's son.
Oswin's son. I don't know anything about Oswin's son.
You seem to have made new friends.
Yes, it's because we, in all our generosity, sent to your town a delegation, including my own son, and they are gone.
Oh, well,
These transgressions are not our fault.
the reason why we are here, mighty Thane Ironwar, is the thing, Savang, Lord of Tothberg, had sent a delegation, including his son, to your kingdom with
And
gifts.
they are missing.
And yes, they too have disappeared.
2 weeks hence, they came to meet you with prizes in friendship, and our Thane is most anxious about the well-being of his son.
He has sent us to find out what's happened.
You repeat what I say back to me.
We've come in peace. We want to still negotiate, but we want to find his son.
Whatever mysterious thing has happened to your son has happened to the Thane of Toothberg's son as well. That is why we were sent, is to find Oswin's son.
He is definitely reeling on this. Can you give me a persuade check?
Persuade. Not slightly lower than my charm, but there we go. 25 is a hard success.
I see. We have been mistaken. I will call off the raids immediately.
The woods between our towns have a bad reputation. And we now wonder if the devil, in his machinations, has sought to turn your town and our town against one another. Perhaps we need to go back and search the woods.
Together.
Yes. If your men and ours fight alongside one another, it might cement a bond. If your Norse friends know, we found a few discarded Viking objects just off the forest path between here and Totber. Do any of them know of a member of their party who went missing, or there were tracks into the forest?
He just tells his translator to tell what you said to the Norse, and then he says, they're not telling me they know what you are referring to.
How long have the Norsemen been here?
They have come down. In my confusion on this situation, I had brought them down to aid in the conquest of your town, but now that I see we have erred in our assumptions of what happened to our delegation, I will no longer use their aid. I do not trust them.
No, they're pagans.
Neither do we. I'm almost wondering if they've been the ones that might have intercepted our delegations to get us to fight amongst ourselves, which just weaken us.
Well, Seakelm, if they were brought here, Ironwar, how long ago did you request their presence?
I requested them just a couple days ago, it must have been.
These are barbarian men. They don't have the brain capacity to launch some kind of intelligent ruse against us. It must be something in the woods, something evil.
The devil.
Perhaps, Deacon, your devil and the barbarians are on the same side. Great Thane, how large was the delegation your son left with? Was it many men?
5, and then my son.
A strange parallel between our group and yours.
It haunts me.
Our Thane was in great straits of distress over his son's absence.
As am I.
Well, we should, I think, make haste, as the forest is even more hateful after dark. We have at least one place where we know there were markings.
Is there anything by which we might know your son by?
Yes, a cloak clasp that is silver. It has the insignia of the cross on it.
Would you like to send some of your men as well to help us search?
Give me a persuade roll.
And your son's name?
Idle.
I failed by 4, so I'll spend 4 luck.
Okay. He says, I will send with you 3 of my own men. They will be under your direct command, Godwald.
Thank you, Thane.
Question to the keeper: how large was the party that our Thane sent with his son? The same, about the same size?
In fact, exactly the same. 6.
I wonder. I wonder if the gift that he was bringing is also similar.
It would be hard to. Well, he sent silver. Ours sent gold. I find it almost impossible to believe that vagabonds or ruffians could overthrow seasoned soldiers in the woods.
I'm glad we're
the
going
woods.
after numbers.
Well, there are 9 of us, so.
Keeper, I'm wondering how, I'm watching the Vikings to see if they seem to speak any or understand Chimeric, or if they look confused by it.
Roll me insight.
That's what I was wondering. Oh, woefully 93. No idea.
If they do understand it, they are intentionally concealing that. But you're unable to tell.
I wonder, Cleland, you speak better Chimeric than I do. I fear that we should warn the Thane that he needs to have some stout men with him in case his northern colleagues don't leave peacefully. Can you communicate that to him indirectly?
Yeah, I will. I will say to the Thane, kind of moving my eyes a little back and forth, and just it is good to be wary of the beings on one's shoulders.
You were trying to be subtle. He takes a direct look at them, and he says, "Well, then I won't send 3 men with you. I'll keep them here with me to defend me. What would you have me do?"
I think your safety is paramount. These are dangerous times.
All right. I will keep my men with me then.
We will bring you word when we know what's happened.
All right. Thank you, Father.
It is getting dark. Do we want to head into the woods at night?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you would like to make haste, you can do so. If you would like me to find you a room here, I can do that.
It may be foolish to try this at night, so the woods are treacherous, even in the daytime.
I will defer to the woodsman.
How?
Traveling in the woods at night is wishing to not be seen again.
There are bears and wolves, and
and much worse things than natural creatures out there.
And I have some people who I'd quite like to be seen by again. So
How far to the woods is it? Or is the woods like right outside town?
The woods is about a mile from this, from Corduwon.
Oh, okay, all right. I was just thinking if it's longer than a mile, it might make sense to hike that far out, camp outside the woods, and then. But yeah, it does make sense.
I would rather spend the night in Corduwon than camping near those woods.
We will gladly take your accommodation then.
Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality.
And thank you for clearing my confusion.
Of course, we're glad to have done so. It would have brought much suffering to all of our people.
All right. You are all given room that is suits your expectations. You are awakened to the morning light, and you buy food that smells wonderful. And when you decide to all head out, where would you like to go? Are you thinking about going to the spot where you saw the Viking material, or
the trail?
I'm curious as to where their delegation entered the woods.
Okay. Anwar will tell you they went along the road that connects. They shouldn't have ever left the road.
So they went along the same path we did, and we didn't find them. Okay. So I think the Viking gear is fine a place to start as any. It's the only,
Yes, and perhaps we
have to go on.
Maybe they've left some things behind as well that Colwig can use to track them.
Yes, I'll keep an eye as we travel down to that spot to see if there's any other places where it seems someone could have strayed from the path.
Now we can't leave empty-handed, doubly so, with 2 Thanes.
Keep in your minds, though, that there is something in the woods that seeks to deceive us. Don't go running after any lights you might see, or apparitions of loved ones that are long dead.
The Deacon and I agree for once. What we should be looking for is, I think, also any signs of ambush. We were making some haste on the way here. On the way back, we should look for damage to vegetation, trampled, parts of the path, and so on. It might be as simple as a raid. 2 raids.
That is damn Vikings.
And as you said, you're not making haste. So this time, I would like everyone to take a spot hidden check.
Standard success.
Fumble.
Oh, just a fail for me.
Regular fail here.
And I also regularly failed. So
Can you remind me of which of you succeeded?
Sieghelm, the Great Guard.
You notice with your sharp eyes the hints of weak old tracks leaving the road.
Colwig, look here and here. Can you pick it up from this spot?
Good eyes. I was looking on the wrong side. I believe I can track them. If they've trampled the vegetation here, it only gets the underbrush only gets thicker on, and their passage will be obvious.
Keeper, and what relationship is this to where we found the cache of Viking stuff? Would you say this is 1/3 of the way, and then that was another third, or?
Not precisely. That is one way of dividing it, but you wouldn't think it's mathematically so. Yeah.
So roughly the same distance from town,
Right.
from each side.
I'm gonna make sure that it's not like an animal that came through. To the best that I can.
Yeah. You can definitely see very faded boot prints.
Okay, yeah.
Surely that many people would break branches and twigs and things of the bushes along the way.
Ulwig, can you tell if those marks only leave the path or do they go both directions?
They only go deeper into the woods. They do not go towards the town.
Perhaps there is some encampment that has been made deep in the forest where both parties were taken.
How many
you were-
people
Oh.
can be distinguished from these tracks?
Give me a tracking roll.
I'm getting just a regular success.
You would say about a dozen.
Oh,
So that's more than the congregation.
No, 6 from each side,
Oh, so maybe they combined. They found each other.
or they just follow the same path.
Right.
strange.
Or they were
Oh.
tricked by the lights of the woods you mentioned.
There's all manners of strange things around here.
Is
Like-
there horse tracks or horse droppings?
You do not see that right here. No.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and that
And-
is to follow these tracks.
Indeed. I will have the lead godbald so I can keep an eye on the trail.
Good man.
Well, let us be mindful of knowing our way back.
Yes, we should mark a tree here and there. And I'm also going to take out my bow and cock an arrow just because it seems like all of this speaks of ambush to me.
I'll hold up the rear.
I'll pick up some good sized rocks for my sling. Seeing Leo.
I'll draw my shield.
Not far from the tracks, when you make your way deeper into the woods, there is a campsite. It actually appears to be in pretty good condition. It clearly wasn't attacked. There are a mixture here, an intermingling of Anglo-Saxon and Cymric goods. There are certainly no signs of the gold rings, the gold armbands.
It was silver.
Is there
And
a,
any sign of a cloak with a silver clasp.
Give me a spot hidden check.
Very interested in that.
35 is a regular success.
Underneath, you don't know what leads you to it, but underneath an overturned pot is a finely wrought silver cloak clasp, matching the description exactly.
So Oswin's son was here.
Is there any evidence of other than our people and their people, like brigands? So
No,
is there a remnants of a campfire?
there's definitely remnants of a campfire.
Is it still like, because embers will stay warm for quite some time, but it's cold.
Long cold.
Does it have any signs of bedding down for the night, or this was a very small camp?
Yeah, it had bedding for the night.
no evidence of conflict between them.
No.
How about merrymaking?
Yes, perhaps some. Yeah, there is some. You actually perhaps see a game laid out.
That's very worrying because everything was left here untouched.
Are there any tracks that lead away from here?
Yes, they're all northward bound, and they have they fan outward, like divided paths.
Like they were looking for someone.
Perhaps.
Perhaps they lost one of their own. Wanted to find
Well,
them
we
and
have
then
we
got
have
lost
the clasp.
themselves.
We have the clasp of Oswin's son, but we don't have this cloak.
Right. Maybe they were looking for Oswin's son.
Maybe somebody wandered off in the night.
Keeper, do we think that Ironwar sent his delegation also 2 weeks earlier? Was it more or less simultaneous?
Yes.
And is the path between the proper trail and this makeshift campsite, was that more or less perpendicular away from the proper road?
No, not necessarily.
Is it not because it weaves around the forest, or because one side cut in at an angle and the other side then turned more sharply?
Yes. Yes, it weaves into the forest a bit.
Odd.
Hmm.
Why, if they met each other, would they go deeper? Well, we know why. They were drawn here by some. If this were sea, I would say they had been called by sirens.
But they wouldn't have camped if they were called by sirens. They would have gone to their deaths without stopping. It seems almost as if they were in league with one another and not interested in taking their treasures to the opposite sides. Like they came here, met, walked into the forest together. But why? Casually.
To doom both towns. Very. So when you say that tracks lead away from this site in multiple directions, do you mean there are 2 smaller paths, or are there 6?
The tracks are old, first of all, but you would say more like they spread out into some 8, 12, 6.
They went looking for someone.
Or something terrified them so that they thrashed off madly into the forest.
Does it look more systematic or random?
Orderly.
Orderly.
Huh.
They were most likely searching for someone then.
It does sound that way.
And the paths are in roughly one direction, like say 180 degrees out of camp or 360 out of camp.
All north.
All
Now, Father, do you remember the second half of what the anchorite said?
I'm afraid my memory is not as good as it should be.
Said something of the feeder of ravens are will
A
be
tree sponge? Did you say something about a tree sponge?
It seemed that part struck me as being as though the fallen would be eaten by the mushrooms of the forest. It was like, lest ye be eaten by the tree sponge, something like that. But there was a further part of the warning.
Yes.
You know our Thane well.
Right.
What was his relationship to his son? And please do not be delicate. Tell us the truth.
He loved his son dearly.
No. The other way around. The son. I have the possibility that the 2 sons found a way to have their towns go to war so that they could return and take over once their fathers were.
Why on earth would they do that? They would already have ownership of the town.
Men have strange and evil ways when they want something.
Perish the thought. Deacon.
Well, if that's what you say, then I'll disregard that as a possibility.
I will stow away the silver clasp onto the horse, because to at least show that we have something for our search.
We must return that, yes.
Are we leaving? Are we taking the horses with us? Or are we leaving them at the camp? I guess how thick are the woods?
The woods get thicker and darker as you go along, and you will definitely need to leave your horses at some point if you go northward.
We might as well leave them here.
I feel like Godbald. We don't know what strange persons go through these woods. I would feel better if we kept the clasp with us. If some bandits abscond with our horses, God forbid, at least we'll still have.
Very well,
Clasp.
Cuclellan. Very well. I'll take the clasp and stow it away.
Colwig,
Yes, Father.
you know these woods better than any of us. Are there any rumors of strange, evil people, women, witches, warlocks in the woods? Perhaps Leofeld knows too, since he's mostly in league with them.
Oh, have I heard any of rumors like that, Keeper, or just more of like the typical?
Some old crone who wishes to have the two towns destroy each other.
Give me an occult roll.
No surprise, I didn't meet my 5%.
Basically, oh yes, you can roll.
Oh boy, another 90. 98 this time.
Basically, the rumors, as you know them, they take all forms. So it's almost so protean that it doesn't settle into one idea.
Right.
Father, what I can tell you is that, again, there was a story of a fellow who met a family with a strange daughter out in the Dean Forest.
Why did he say she was strange?
Even as I asked him the same question, the Thane's man came to call me. I never learned. He found them menacing, even though they fed him. And he's an honorable man.
Maybe a clue, it maybe nothing.
Quite. Keeper, this camping area, is it a small natural clearing, or did they cut down some striplings, or?
Yes, actually, it does appear that some small trees were cut down to make it even more of a clearing than it was, but it was somewhat of a clearing.
And so the horses will not be, in danger here for a few hours as we investigate. They have some grass to eat, and
there are no longer any. Go ahead.
I'm gonna, if I may, I'll try natural world. I'm gonna look for any spoor of things like bear and wolf, any other menacing creatures. I just rolled 98 for the second consecutive time.
As you're looking for that, you're taking time to look for that, so you're straying a little bit farther away from the rest of the group. And what you find is a man. You know this man, Ingar. He's one of the Hartweru alongside Godbald. And he is lying down. He seems to be a corpse, but some few superficial scratches and scrapes from maybe running through the forest, but no other physical wounds. He seems to have run this direction and had fallen. He has dried blood crusted around his eyes, nose, and mouth. And in one hand, he clutches a wooden stick covered in symbols written in dried blood. In his other hand, a torn shred of cloth with a gold thread woven through it in a knotwork pattern. As you get a little bit closer to inspect, he opens his eyes. There, in his mouth, he just has a shivering breath. So, and then spores burst from his neck, and his entire throat cavity area collapses inward as spores shoot outward. Take a sanity roll.
Triple zero. I had 85 sand.
You see, this is what happens when you mock God with your blasphemy.
He strikes you mad.
So you are going to lose the full amount of 4 sanity.
Screaming, Godbold, Sighelm!
I draw my sword. I
Just
going
happened.
to approach.
Let's all
He's
go
there.
together.
Keep some way back.
What is the matter?
Ingar of the guard is here, but
Ingar.
he's dead, and some fungus rains from him. Don't
Is
breathe.
it safe? Shall we? All right, we'll stay put.
Take a cloth. He spoke for a moment. I'm not sure what he said. You saw? I was too shocked to understand him. Look, he holds strange items.
I'll go forward to look at the items that he has.
Clef, you read some, yes?
I'll look. I'll see if I know any of this. But
It does not appear to be a language, but if you can roll occult, you might be able to figure something out about it.
Regular pass.
42 isn't no good on my occult. So
You think this is a pretty common protective rune. And in fact, something about this rune, this is written by the other healer. There's 2 healers in the entire settlement. This is written by the other one. This is written by Wifrun. It's specifically a sort of protective charm that she sends with people to avoid death. But
He was hoping for protection, but some awful thing. I
does
don't.
Withrune normally write these kinds of things in blood? I don't have much dealings with healers.
it's actually not that unusual
Okay.
for her.
All right.
It's probably some livestock blood that would be acquired in
And
slaughter.
looking at the cloth with the gold thread, is
Yeah.
it gonna roll an appraise? Is it
Yes, yes.
gold?
You can roll an appraise.
27 is a hard success.
It appears to be the real deal. This is very nice.
This is
very,
actual
very-
gold. What is this cloth? So it's a cloth, but it has gold, like a gold embroidery in it.
Yes, and I'm just going to follow from your appraise roll. It's also Norse, because it's the weaving is Norse.
This is a Norse make.
And
Very
valuable.
fine. And yes, with gold, this is.
Well,
And
this
where
is
would he
perfect.
get that?
Where indeed?
How far from the camp was this found? Is this body? Is this like 50 meters, 100 meters?
Maybe like 30 yards. It was actually not that far. It blended into the foliage, but it was not that far.
Father Wolfwood, Ingar was a good man. Could you pray for him?
Yes. I'll take my prayer book and I'll say the last rites for him. But also as I'm doing that, what sort of pattern did you say the gold thread makes?
It is a Celtic knot
Okay.
pattern, or rather, just a knotwork pattern.
So I say the prayers. In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
Well,
May his memory be eternal.
While they're doing that, I'd like to go to the next path over and go about that far into it as well, maybe 30, 40 yards, just wondering if they all made it out that far.
Okay, could you give me a power roll?
Power roll, certainly. Ooh, there's an 18, but let's see what my power is. Ooh, 35. Ooh, that's oh no, it's not a hard, it's a regular.
The most beautiful light in the woods, like purples and greens and whites. And you decide that you're going to go to reach out for it. And then you're sort of awoken from the dream suddenly. And as soon as you are sort of no longer in the enchantment, there's still something there, but it's not shining, it's not radiant. It is some dark elk-horned thing on two legs that passes farther into the woods.
Oh, I call out immediately. Over here!
I'm running.
Father,
Stick together.
Yes, Klukhan.
Can one confess outside of a church?
Of course. One can confess everywhere. You have something to confess?
I don't know, but I want to make sure that my soul is clean in case this same
Well,
fate
better out
befalls me.
than in. Just tell me what you think you've done, and
Well, you see, Father, there was this girl back.
yeah, it's not like I haven't heard that 1,000 times before from everybody in the Tottenham, wherever we're.
Up the bush.
Keeper, I'm wondering about, I've seen any number of horrible deaths. I've obviously never seen one like this, but will a medicine roll or an occult roll or a natural world roll help me understand what this body did?
A medicine roll will.
Tis a witch's pestilence.
There you go again. 19. That's hard.
What you think happened to this man was that he had something growing inside of him that pinned him to the earthen floor. And his death was perhaps caused by him trying to communicate with you as he passed by, and his usage of his head and vocal cords led to his death.
So if I tried to turn over the body, would it resist?
Yes, it does. As you try to move the body, it does resist. There's the earth is letting you know that it has roots.
Yes. When you're done hearing confession, Father, there might be something other than last rites this fellow needs. His body has grown into the soil of the forest, or the other way around. This is not what I would call a natural death.
So I'll go over to where Sighelm is.
Some sort of woodland enchantment. What if the others have also been turned into bushes and trees in this manner? Is that what it looks like? That he was becoming rooted to the ground like a plant?
You wouldn't say it's a transformation. You would say it is an invasion of this plant that breaks into the body.
Most definitely a witchcraft. Something has caused this to happen.
must hack them free for a proper burial. But Sieghelm saw something, so let's not worry about that yet.
What did you see? What did you see, Seacam?
Into the woods, right in there, into the darkness. It was standing, 2 legs. It had horns. It looked at me. It bewitched me for a moment. I snapped out of it and then fled off right over there.
How far?
I point exactly where I saw it. But that's
If it's not
You
too
say-
far, and I'll go and look, see if I can see some tracks.
In your attempt to pursue it, are you going slowly? Or are you trying to catch up to it? Are you trying to go
No.
as quickly as you can?
No, I'm looking more for
You're just okay.
tracks. Yeah.
So what you do see is there are child-sized footprints scattered about. They appear for 5 or 6 steps, then disappear to be picked up later, and that pattern repeats.
What? It's like a little child was here and was skipping or something.
a devil child. It had horns. It fled.
Were they horns like an antler, or were they a horned crown, as the anchorite said?
I thought he said bone crown, but he was not clear.
Oh, keeper?
The like they were small horns, like a
Like
they
a
were like
fawn?
yes.
Perhaps you said you were bewitched. Maybe you saw a fawn, and that it may perhaps has strangely shaped foot pads, and that's why it can bound the way this seems to.
I wasn't born yesterday.
Well,
You
Seemed
say
like no fawn of any.
what was
normal-
the bewitchment like?
It was floating beautiful lights and loveliness, and I snapped out of it.
The devil takes a pleasing shape.
but we have a path to follow that of where we could maybe he's taken the others that way. Would you say that you were you said you were drawn to it, Sighelm?
I was for a moment.
That would make sense that maybe the others were drawn to it and they went chasing after it.
If I was by myself, I would fear for the worst for me. But fortunately, together, I think we all will be okay against such a thing.
Yes, we should all stick together.
Keep an eye for others who have been attacked by plants.
Shall we continue northward?
Those
Yes.
those who speak Chimeric hear a singing voice. I mean, everyone hears a singing voice, but those who speak Chimeric knows what it's saying, and it's a woman's voice. Once crowned in green, graced by the light of heaven, the mighty earth rent as the skyborn seeks new home. And it seems to be coming from your to the east.
It's they're singing some kind of, I can only assume, devil worship song. What it sounds
Just
like to
stop
me.
your ears. Do not listen.
Coming up over the hill, there is a nun in filthy habit, like absurdly filthy habit. And she seems to be an older woman, and she has eyes clouded by cataracts. And she's sort of wandering around. She doesn't make any note of you, but seems to pass you by.
Is she the one singing?
Yes. By what wanders cold must desire, lung taker stalks the traveler, delivering his prize to the heart. The warmth bearers keep the foe at bay and feed the guard of ring eternal.
Father, do we should we stop this witch?
Be gone, witch!
Oh, who is speaking English around me? I don't understand it.
I'll say something in Kimrick. Halt, witch.
Witch. I suppose I'm getting pretty witch-like now.
Those are no God-loving songs that you sing. What is your business here?
Oh, I'm just making my way.
Making your way where? And from whence?
I'm making my way from where I woke up to where I'll go back to sleep.
Riddles, riddles, riddles. Have you seen men about these woods?
Oh, yes, they're about.
What does she say, Cluclellan? Why does she laugh?
She's not answering my questions.
What
I'm
do you
asking
know?
her about the men and where she is, where she's going. She won't give me a straight answer.
Old woman, what do you know of the sons of Thanes in these woods?
These sons of thanes and kings and all sorts of earthly titles, they don't mean anything here in the court of the true earth.
Father, you might as well try your holy water.
Are you Fae?
I'll repeat the question in Kimrick.
Oh, I would like to be, but no, I'm just an old woman.
Are the Fae hereabouts then?
My holy water.
Is this their court?
I could be convinced to telling you with some drink or some food, if you have that.
I'm going to get some holy water on her, just a little bit.
She twitches at you're splashing the holy water on her. It doesn't seem to burn her or anything like that.
Well, she's not the devil.
Well, I'll hand her some bread, I suppose.
Oh, no. Yes, this is the Fae Court. This is their home. You got your answer? She starts walking away.
Oh, wait.
What?
If one wanted to have an audience with the Thane of this court, could that be arranged?
What is he saying?
He's getting us into trouble. He's asking.
Your audience will come. Your audience will come.
The hag has promised us that the ruler of what she calls this court.
Tell her if she has our men, we'll burn the forest to the ground to get them back. Return them to us.
She's already alluded to the fact that the forest has our men, and I fear they're going to be in similar conditions to the others.
Old woman, there were 3 gold rings, golden bands. Does your Thane covet gold like men do?
I, Thane, covets those who covet gold. It's good to have gold when you covet those who covet gold.
You were singing about golden rings.
Oh, yes, those are the rings.
Which way to them? It's easy to get lost in this wood.
Well, there are some ways to them, and then once you're along the way, all ways become to them. The more and more ways go to them, the more and more one goes the way.
Perhaps she's just a crazy old woman.
She seems pretty mad, but she hints at just enough to make me feel she's a danger.
Have there been Norsemen in these woods?
Oh, perhaps.
Danes from across the sea.
Some wine might get me to say.
Could you
I'll
ask?
give her a drink from my wineskin.
Oh, look. Yes, there's Norsemen, and there's Englishmen, and there's Cymric, and all sorts. Everyone around has come here.
Can you ask her? Can you ask her about the creature that I saw in the woods?
We saw a creature with the head of a fawn and the body of a child. Do you know of such a thing? It shows people lights.
No, but there are all sorts here. All sorts of creatures live here.
Do you still see lights despite your eyes?
No.
Do you hear anything out here?
Oh, I hear millions of twinkling bells. They lead me to where I sleep, and then I wake up.
I see. Well, perhaps we'll let you get back to following the sounds of those twinkling bells.
So long.
Are you done conversing with this witch, Llewellyn?
Yes, I.
Have the
Yes,
good
sir.
father check you over.
I'll say a prayer over you just in case you've been misled.
If it weren't for the honor we owe our Thane, I would suggest that we take the silver clasp back to Ironwar, tell him that his son is lost, and then go and deliver that same news to our Lord. Else we'd be lost in this wood like the rest.
I fear, Leofled, we may already be lost in these woods, but we'll see.
It's
We must
true.
push on.
The witch told us, friends, that in essence, whichever way we go, we're going to find the golden rings and also her
Thane.
lord.
Yes, the Thane of this place, whatever it be. And I don't care too much about what she said about those who covet gold, given my choice of life.
Sounds
We
like
were
they
sent
are the
on a-
hunters.
We were sent on a mission by our Thane. It is our duty to continue it until it is finished. And perhaps if the Lord of the Fae meets us, he will at least know that we are men who do our duty, rather than
Men of
trying to
honor.
preserve our lives and our safety.
And I'll say to Leofled and Kimrick, I'm not too sure about the father at this point. I quite value my life.
I was not terribly impressed by his magic water. I'd say that for sure. That woman may have been human, but she was certainly also something else. Quietly tie a verbal word onto my person. We all have our superstitions. Let's see if we can get out of this wood alive.
Godbold, which path would you like me to track for you?
Well, the tracks originally were heading north, so to north we shall go.
I'll take my dagger out and mark another couple of the trees with 3 little lines.
If anyone should see a strange light, try to call out before you wander off into the woods.
Yes, do we have any rope with us?
Possibly on a horse.
Yeah, I would imagine as just some of the basic supplies.
I suggest tying ourselves at least somewhat loosely together in case somebody wanders off.
Very
They
well.
won't
Everyone
get
has a
very
dagger to cut
No, I don't
themselves free.
carry a dagger.
I have a spear.
I have a knife.
Then we
Yeah.
shall tie ourselves together. That is a good idea.
Loosely. I don't.
Of course.
Keeper.
Yes.
I've got actually fairly high occult. Can I I had an odd experience when I was younger, a child. Can I roll to see if I know anything about the Fae?
Yes, you can try. I
got 51 out of 65.
Okay. On a normal success, I will say that what you know encompasses where they appear in storytelling and not exactly travelers' experience with them in this particular woods or anything like that.
So, according to stories, they're mischievous and they trick people and they lead them astray,
Right.
And sometimes they wake up 300 years later and
yes,
we must be careful. If they are Fae, we're in some danger.
That's what the fallen nun said. And as we travel carefully into the dark wood, I'm going to just, in English, repeat what I can remember of what the old woman said, and answer any questions that I can so that we have a broader idea of her madness. What was it, Llewellyn? It was that the farther on our way we go, the more ways there are.
Yes, the more ways that lead to where we're going, the more ways we'll find to lead us there. Something cryptic, but along the lines of the longer we're here, the more ways that we go that will lead us to same place. Essentially, the woods will twist us into the direction the Thane of this place wants us to go. I fear is the import of what she said.
Keeper, if I scan through the forest, from front to full right, say, and look for shafts of light coming through the canopy, are they consistent with the time of day as I would reckon it? Does that make sense? Can we tell direction in here?
The canopy has become dense enough that it wouldn't be ridiculous to light your own way at this point with torches. Like, even though it should be midday, it doesn't seem like the entrances where their light are shining, it is the appropriate time of day. It's not the wrong time of day, but it's so infrequent where light can shine that it is very dark.
We've permanent twilight down here and old gnarled trees. So probably light undergrowth because it's so dark. Yeah, perhaps 2 torches between us. Just, I wouldn't mind carrying something I could thrust at something that hopped out of the shadows at me.
Perhaps someone can climb a tree so that we can get an orientation.
I'm very good at climbing.
Pop their head out to the tree canopy.
You can give me a climb roll.
All right. Just regular.
Okay. Climbing up, the woods seem pretty big. You do see a channel of smoke a bit to the northeast, a little ways. There's just a smoke rising up above the canopy. Other than that, climbing this didn't seem to make anything more clear other than that.
I yell down and go, there is smoke in that direction.
Oh,
Point.
That may be our men camping.
Can I tell about how far away that would be while I'm
A
up
mile.
there? Not far.
then let us make haste before it gets darker. Lead the way, my good man.
You see, You see a woman and a man making charcoal, and then there's also a fire beside them, and a little girl runs around playing. And that you see them before they see you. You're.
So people live here in the woods.
Yeah.
Hermits.
The charcoal man. This must be the strange family I was told of, or might well be.
Hmm.
But they keep at least to human ways. Are they
Yeah.
dressed unusually at all?
They seem like they are. They're dressed in. Those who live in the woods don't dress as nice as those who live in the towns, but it's nothing that unusual.
You dress like me. Terrible.
I'll
Yeah.
call out to them in Kimrick. Are ye spirits?
No, we're not spirits. Hey, do you want some stew? We've made stew.
And that's in Kymric also?
Yes.
Godbold, they offer us stew.
We should be wary and keep to our own provisions.
They might have information. Perhaps we can be convivial. I can share a pot of tea with them.
Very
Speak
well.
English.
Oh,
Ah.
good. Oh, they speak English. They must be good God-fearing people.
Oh, what? Speaking in English now. This is a peculiar place to call home.
I like it. We like it.
What are your names?
As you get closer, you see they do have a hut that seems crammed with stuff. They say, "Oh, well, I am Omag. This is my wife Teleri, and our daughter should be running around somewhere around here. I am actually not sure where she is. She's named Ada."
Well, I am Kluklin from.
Fluklin.
I come
nice
from Toadberg.
Oh, Toadber folk. Yes. We see some Toadber folk here and there. I don't know why anyone would travel this deep in the woods, but when they do come out here, we try to keep them fed. We try to keep everybody safe.
Yes, we came out here looking for some others from Toadberg and from Corduwon who have wandered deep into the woods this way. Have you seen anybody in the last 2 weeks or so?
I think I would have seen them if they would have come by. Give me an insight roll.
48 is not high enough. I mean, it's not low enough, but you know.
I think I would have seen them if they would have come by. Oh, here's Ada. He picks up Ada into his arms and oh, this is our wonderful daughter.
You have a beautiful daughter. How long
Thank
have you
you.
been living in these woods, Oman?
Time slips by you very strange when you live on your own terms out here. But I would say a dozen years. We used to live in. We used to live. My native tongue is English. I used to live around thereabouts, not in any settlement, but we lived there. I had a small farm.
I am Godbald, Hearthguard of Thane Osmond.
You seem to be a powerful warrior.
Thank you.
I'm carefully listening to all this. Can I do an insight roll?
Yeah.
Oh, 31 out of 75. So that's hard.
Wow.
You would say that there is something genuine and there's something false about them. You would say what's genuine is that they like seeing people. They like that everyone's here. They are glad that you've come and they intend to feed you. All of that seems true. What seems false is it seems like there's some very heavy matter that is left unaddressed by them that they are choosing not to bring up.
Okay. You said they're making charcoal.
Yes.
Hence the smoke.
Do you know of the nun that wanders these woods?
Oh, I think I have seen. Isn't that strange? Yes, I think I've seen that woman.
But do you
Someone
know
should
her?
really help her. She's probably out of her wits.
What does the area where they are look like? Is it particularly nice? Wildflowers.
Yes, there are in fact wildflowers. It seems to be a bit of a clearing, and they have their hut that seems packed of stuff. It doesn't seem like anybody could sleep in it. It's so packed of stuff. And there also seems to be as I said, it's more colorful than other places you've been in the forest.
I say to Leo Fled on the side, I say, could these be lookouts for the Fae? Notice how lovely the flowers are in the area. I think they're being honest with us, but I think they may be here to turn us away.
Well, before I respond, Keeper, the fellow I was treating with leeches when the Thane's man came to me, it seems like this is the family he was speaking of, certainly.
Right.
That he had, was it boils that he had?
Yes.
Do I know of any way that boils could be inflicted through a foodstuff? Medicine, natural world?
Yeah, sure. Give me a medicine check.
Witchcraft.
7.
You don't. So there are all sorts of things in this world that cause all sorts of reactions to a human being. And it's not your job necessarily to know what every little thing does or what every little thing causes, but you don't believe, you've seen so much in your life that you don't know of a limit. You think that it very well could be that there is materials that give people boils.
Right. Yes, Father, I think that Godbold's instinct to not eat their food is probably quite wise. Also, I wonder if you shouldn't speak to the child. And Keeper, I'd like to sort of, while we're all chatting and sort of looking around, I'd like to see what their hut is so full of.
Okay.
Without being obvious about it.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll.
Not bad. Ooh, 16 for 50, so hard.
While the rest of your group is chatting with them, you found an opportunity to take a look and snoop around. And you find the 6 golden armbands. There's also a stash of Anglo-Saxon and Chimeric weapons stuffed under a table, surmounted by a stew pot, a very massive stew pot, inside.
Right. I wondered why their hut was so full of things. I'm going to walk a little ways away from the hut and say, call out, Godbold, it's very lovely here. Do you mind if I take a few minutes to, if Omag and his family don't mind, pick a few of these wildflowers from my herbery?
Sure, you could pick some flowers. I don't mind.
I'll approach Theoflad.
Yeah. We need to see what they're armed with. They have the Thane's son's golden bands.
You speak the truth?
I fear much so. And other booty as well. I think they might even be cannibals.
I am filled with rage. Why shouldn't we just strike them down right now? Should we give them time to explain themselves on why they have the Thane's son's jewelry?
Perhaps if they are Fae, cold steel and quickly is the best way.
Shall we confront them then? Give them a chance to explain themselves.
I'll pick flowers and keep my dagger at hand. Go to Sigahelm and tell him to strike.
I shall.
I'm going to speak to the little girl.
Oh, you're dressed funny.
Oh, you've not seen a priest before.
I don't know what that is.
Your parents have never taken you to church.
Nope.
I'll look up at them and say, is she baptized?
Sure.
How old are you, young girl?
Oh, I'm 7.
Okay. I don't need insight to understand that if they've been here for 12 years out in the woods, then she's not baptized. She's only 7. Do you, I don't know. I'm trying to make merry with the child and just, I'm watching everybody.
I'll wait
Give
to see him a word.
Father, give me a power roll.
Okay. Oh, 007.
Right.
James Bond.
This girl, her eyes warp with light when you are, and for a second you're like KO'd, like knocked out. You stagger, and then she's just looking at you the same way, just smiling.
I'll stand up like in horror and grab my cross and God bless you, child.
She runs off into the woods.
I turn around and I look over towards Godbald. It's like with a look on my face.
I will mouth the words that tracks were child-sized. But Sieghild, Colwig,
Yes.
a word.
So
Yeah.
come over from the periphery.
Leofeld found the golden bands within the
What?
hut. He found the golden bands in the hut itself. I mean to confront these hermits, give them a chance to explain themselves, but expect the unexpected, expect violence.
On your word, Godbold.
Good man.
I'll make sure my bow is ready.
You take out your bow like and knock an arrow.
Don't knock it, but kind of like I haven't waxed the twine all day, and so kind of
Okay. It looks like you're just adjusting your bow.
doing maintenance on it. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to misread Godbald's look, and I feel like I have to warn everybody. So I'm going to immediately point at the two people and say, in the name of God, tell me who you truly are.
All right. So finding Dex order.
I'm 75.
I am 80.
85.
I'm
Wow.
75.
You people are fast.
Sounded like we had an 85.
That's
Yeah.
sweet.
Godball. Okay. Okay, I'll explain a little bit. As he says, "Tell me in the name of God who you are," he reaches inside of his robe, and he has a axe, which he is taking out to use in battle. She pulls out a knife.
Okay. And I'm like right in front of them. Shit. I say, hold your ground in the name of God. Fear him.
Godbolt, what would you like to do?
I draw my sword and shield, and I will proclaim as I walk up. Explain what happened to the Thane's son. Now. I will not strike them.
You will not. You will not get the explanation you want. The explanation you want has died.
Then you shall fall by my blade.
He lunges at you.
I'm going to use the shield.
I dive out of the way.
Okay.
Do I roll shield in order to?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I believe you get the benefit of all your defense without roll.
All right. So I can dodge, right?
Yes, or you can fight back.
I'll dodge. Oh, 77. I failed.
Yeah.
He misses. So he lunges at you and he slashes at the ground, and he sees that he's wildly outnumbered. And he actually takes a couple steps back, almost reevaluating his choice. And he says, he's walking back into the woods, and you won't live to see another day. The wife full sprints. He walks backward with his back facing the woods.
I'll hit him with a rock for my
go for it.
Colleague, if you got a shot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely.
54 is a hit with my sling.
Okay. Roll damage.
4.
The arrow sinks into his side, and he lets out a snarl of pain. He goes, and he turns his back to you and starts moving as fast as he can now with an arrow in his side.
Right. And I'll fire my arrow at him also.
Okay.
And I will miss.
Okay. He disappears into the woods.
Ah.
All right, I'll pick up another rock since I launched one at him.
Keeper, you said the wife had run for the forest straight away with her dagger out and is probably invisible to us.
Take a spot hidden check.
Nope.
Yeah, she seems to have vanished into the air.
Right. So I don't know. Should Siga help? Are we out of combat because we've lost combatants?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
These truly are dark days.
Yeah, I've got, still my dagger in hand. I'm going to stalk toward the hut. I want to collect the rings before we get the hell out of here. But I got eyes all over because I don't want that demon child running out at me.
I'm coming with you, Leopold.
I was also curious, so I'm going to see. I didn't know what was in there, but I'm.
Be quick.
You should see, Father. It's a nightmare.
We are leaving. So be quick.
Yeah,
We'll bring
want the
back an
proof.
army.
We want the proof for the Thane as well.
Yes.
So inside you see a you find inside of the pot, there is a human head. This one is actually not one you know, maybe a chimeric person. Take a sanity roll.
Put all of us in there.
Anyone who sees the head, anyone who stays outside will not.
I'm going to make the roll for my first visit to the hut, even though I'm not going to look in the stew pot because I've made assumptions.
I missed by one.
I rolled 000 insanity a second time.
Oh, wow. That'll be another 4 loss for you. The D4 is the fail and 1 is the pass.
Got it. All right, so I did a regular fail by just 1. Oh, cool. And just 1 lost.
In the back of this hut, there is a door. They didn't seem to go out in that direction. But opening the door, if you do open it, there are many, many footprints that go from here out into a space in the woods, just a little bit deeper, where you hear footsteps like
lots of footsteps, or are we talking?
Yeah.
Oh geez.
Not like an army, but like keyword dozen, several.
Yeah.
Can I look to see if there's a weapon in here that I can grab?
Yes, there does appear to be a knife.
There we go. Cool.
Having been freaked out by my first sneaky jaunt into the hut, smelling the stew cooking there, my intent on the return is just to grab the Thane's son's rings and then get back into the daylight as soon as possible. I'm probably not even aware of the door. I'm gonna, get out to the and ask Godbold whether we should set the hut on fire before we leave.
Yes, burn it all.
Yes, yeah. I'll torch it.
But that conversation is before anybody tells us about what's inside. I think.
I'd like you to bear a torch, Leoflad, for us. For we are going to be armed with weapons the whole way.
Yeah, dagger and torch, and with the charcoal pit, it should be easy to really light up a honker of a hot object.
I want to see inside if there's any indication for specific people who've gone missing, necklaces, things like that, so that we can bring those back to their families.
Yes, you see the garb of the Hartweru, and it is actually the garb of it is being torn, was torn along the path to where you're hearing the stamp. So like every so often, the garb gets torn just a little bit more, making up the entire uniform. So pieces of it fall apart along the way until it makes up, the path there makes up 12, or not 12, but several the full gear of these soldiers.
Okay.
Go through a quick one.
Also, I guess I'll also look around to see if there's any solid evidence of deviltry or witchcraft or some evil thing that we should save the church.
Mm-hmm.
There's cannibalism. Besides the cannibalism, there are books talking about an entity known as not books. There's writing talking about an entity known as Horig.
I want to grab those because my philosophy is the best way to know what the evil one is up to is to study him. So,
Are you done in there, Wolfwig? We need to leave.
Yeah, let's burn the thing to the fucking thing. I don't see fucking sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably do in this day and age. It's just not a dirty word.
Yeah.
Before it's totally ablaze, I also take a good once through. If there's something very valuable looking, I'll retrieve it and any evidence. But other than that, I'm just there for protection.
Sighelm, bring up our rear.
The noise from the grove grows louder, and you see in the faint distance, Walenche, the son of the Thane, arms bound by vines, hanging, just with eyes open in that grove over there.
Can we take a break at this point?
Okay.
5 minutes later.
All
So
right.
we've got the Thane son in a pseudo kind of
Like tied up. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
crucifix look.
How far away is he from us?
You would say 1,200 feet.
Oh, in the
Wow.
direction to where the noises are coming from, or
Yes.
Do our eyes deceive us?
It's
we must get him.
Yes, we
I-
have to.
I-
We have
I
to be
start-
sure.
I start running toward him.
Yeah, that's we're here to retrieve. So I'm right there with you.
Yep.
careful
Culvey,
about running in the woods. It's treacherous.
Yeah, more of a
Crisquat.
The grove. Sorry. Go ahead.
So he's strung up alone, or is anyone carrying him?
He doesn't. He seems to be in your vision precisely because he's hanging down from the vines. As you get a little bit closer, you notice figures speed by, and then go to the other side and disappear, and speed by, and they're walking actually in a circle, and that's why they come into your vision every once in a while. They're running in a circle around him, hanging from his.
Oh. Yeah, the devil's work is afoot here, Father.
All his
Kill
name.
them all.
he
Let
might
God
be-
sort them out.
He might already be dead. The first hearth where I found his eyes open, but there was no hope for him.
We have to be sure. I call out the son's name.
I feel pretty sure Godbald.
As you approach, you do call out his name. There's no response. The grove is about 400 feet in diameter, with a large ring of toadstools in the center and a bubbling spring off to one side. There are several men, both Anglo-Saxon and Cymric, hanging from the trees with chains or vines around their wrists. Most of them, the vines are entwined with their organs, while fungi sprout from all their orifices. You do hear Walenche say, "Kill me, kill me, kill me." And he seems to be the only one that's tied up, that's alive. There also are, within the ring, 4 men who appear to be sleeping, and another couple dance maniacally around the ring, obviously way past exhaustion. Everyone needs to make a sanity roll.
Keeper, at this time of year, even though it's deep forest, the leaf matter is too wet to burn, I assume. Or I can make a natural world roll to.
Pass.
I got an 02. Here.
That time
Every-
I only failed by 1.
Everyone that fails, roll D10. Everyone
Oh.
that succeeds, roll D6.
Hi, guys.
Feeling less great about my 02. But... And 6. There it is.
Nice. Yep. Only 2.
Oh, 4.
Stand together, men.
So I need to roll intelligence because I lost 6.
I lost 7. So.
And 69 is a pass on intelligence. Yay!
That's an extreme intelligence on my end. Good work.
Okay. So I'm correct. We need to roll bouts of madness, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
With your discretion, unless you want to impose something. Yeah.
oh, I do have something to impose. You, in childlike wonder at the scene that you're seeing, in a mesmerized beauty, begin to run into the toadstool circle and dance around and around. Everyone else may choose what you would like to do.
I will level my spear and run through the very first dancer that's not of my party.
Appreciate that.
I'm going to yell out, "Don't cross into the circle of toadstools."
I'm going to try and yank out Colwig and backhand him across the face.
Okay. You two roll an opposed brawl.
Okay.
Sighelm, did you say you passed into the circle?
Well, I go towards the very first dancer who's dancing around the circle with the spear and just right through their torso.
I got a normal success.
I got
Sighelm, you find it trivial. A Cymric soldier is walking by, and you lance him through, and then as the spear goes through his chest, he says, "Thank you," and then falls to the ground, dead.
Dear God.
What was the brawl result?
I got a success.
I got a normal also.
Okay, then the situation is maintained as it exists, so he's going to continue running around the circle. As you try to rip someone from the circle, you notice at the edge of the circle a dead bear with all of its organs are poured out on the ground, and it wakes to life.
Oh shit!
And it looks at you with pinprick reds of fire in its eyes and in its hollow sockets, and begins walking towards you, like lumbering towards you with some intent that you could find out momentarily.
I bang my sword onto my shield.
Okay. We will go in Dex order because we've had something that is very time bound happen. Is going to be Godball's turn immediately.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to lunge at this bear, striking first with my sword. That is a normal.
It will attack back.
Yep.
That is a miss.
Okay.
So
I'll deal damage then.
Yes.
D8 plus D4 damage bonus. So that is a 10.
10.
Yes.
You thrust the sword directly in its throat. It flips out the other end. Blood spurts from its back, and you pull out the sword, and its head is hanging off of its body, and it's just barely attached by a thread, and it sort of swings its head around.
Oh.
The next person to go will be 75, or no, Colwig, I believe, is 80. So Colwig. Colwig, take
Okay.
You can take a power check.
All right. That is a hard.
Oh, there's a hard success?
Yeah.
That's what you needed. You have woken up from your trance in the circle.
Oh.
Momentarily, at least. Would you like to do anything? Yeah.
Yeah. So I assume I'm kind of near Godbold since he tried to grab me earlier, and I see the bear, and I'm going to, since I don't have my spear because I was dancing, kind of run away from it because you don't hang out around a bear being a woods.
Okay.
So
The next person to go will be Llewellyn. What was the correct pronunciation? I forgot.
And
Lynn, dancing in the circle.
Okay, yeah, power roll.
No, not 82 is the veil.
Okay. You continue dancing. The next person to go will be, I think that's Sigahound.
Oh,
I've got
yeah.
75 also.
Oh, sorry. No, then it's you.
Okay. You said there it's a circle of toadstools. How big are the
Yes.
toadstools?
They seem to be about baseball sized.
Okay, they're small.
Yes.
I am going to try and kick them out of the ground.
Okay.
Trying not to step into the circle, but break the circle.
You give me a power roll.
009.
Okay. Spores shoot up into your face, good colorful
Okay.
spores, and you close your eyes, and you do appear to have unearthed one of these toadstools. Then now it's Siga.
Okay, my goal is to save our the sun. So I'm going to whatever dancer or creature is in front of me, between me and them, I will then run them through as I'm clearing a path to save the sun.
So no one is actually stopping your movement. You can go reach him if you would like.
From a military standpoint, I want to make sure anything that could flank me, if they decided to, is dead. So whatever is on my way to him, I will run through, if possible.
Okay. You can kill the people that are walking around the circle if that's your intention.
Yeah, if they're anywhere near my approach to him, I will do that.
Okay. So you run another one of these dancers through.
But not our party members.
Okay.
Again.
And then Leofled, I believe it's your turn.
yes, I'm wondering what. I guess I'm wondering what the most potent antifungal in my apothecary is, if any. Or maybe I just have some tar for the torches, and I've got a lit torch that we came in here with.
You think that it would be easier for you to find a situation where you can make something flammable than it would be. The process of killing a fungus would be much slower with some sort of cream or something.
Right. So I assume it's going to take a couple of rounds to concoct the most flammable oil mixture that I have in my apothecary. So I'm going to do that because I wanted to be able to circle and destroy this ring and everything inside it.
And now it is the bear's turn. The bear is going to attack Godbald, and it has 2 attacks.
Okay. I'll wait for it to strike, and then I will fight back with my sword.
Okay.
I'm anticipating its moves.
How would you like to react to the first attack?
This is going to be a sword strike.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 9 points to make it an extreme.
Oh.
Okay. It misses.
All right.
So you can roll damage.
Okay. Is it an impaling weapon, or does an extreme do any? The extreme is just mass damage. Max.
Not on a fight back.
Oh, not on fight back. Okay.
You don't need to spend the luck if it
Okay.
doesn't do anything.
Sure. That's 9 damage.
9 damage.
For Lord Oswin.
All right. So you notice that its fur is an armor of its own, but your strikes have been so penetrative that they have it has sustained massive damage from your attacks. It is going to use its second attack. You'll get I believe you get a penalty die on reacting for the second time.
Right. I will once again strike, pushing the advantage, and that is a 46. That is just a regular. So if he gets a regular, he beats me.
Okay. He actually has a hard success.
Okay.
So the bear will now deal damage.
And I should roll the chainmail I'm wearing.
Yes.
And the shield.
Yes.
Okay. All right, 7 armor.
That is going to be 10 damage.
All right, so 3.
3 damage. So you are locked in combat with this bear. We're going to go to the beginning of the round, and it will be the 85.
That's me.
Oh, so Godball's go.
Yeah. I'm going to lunge at it. My arm is numb from the blow that I've withstood with the shield. And that is a 77. I'll spend 7 points of luck to make that a regular.
It will attempt to fight back. That is a 66, which is a miss for it.
Oh, so I do hit.
Okay.
So let's see what kind of damage this one does. That's another 10.
Right.
Thank
Wow.
God. Thank the Lord for damage bonus.
No.
All right. So you've already lopped half of its head off. Its shoulder has a massive, bleeding, terrible necrotic ooze gushing out of it. And it seems intent on killing you. The next person's go is going to be, what is the order again?
Should be Colwig.
Okay, Colwick.
I will grab my bow that I probably dropped when I went dancing, and I'm going to shoot an arrow at the bear.
Go for it.
Regular for 7 points.
Okay. 7 points. Okay. So Godbald has hit strike after strike, nearly cutting its head off. And then the tiny arrow slits through the thread of its hanging neck, and its head falls to the ground, and the bear keels over dead.
That counts as my kill.
Good shot. I'm breathing heavy, taking a breath.
Now, Llewellyn, what's the right name? Take a constitution check. You've been dancing for a while.
Just getting started. Go all day. Woo, 51. That is a regular pass.
You're still dancing fine.
Yeah.
So it doesn't appear who is going to make the next action?
That's me.
You can go. In fact, we can drop out of initiative without a combatant currently.
I am going to walk around the circle, stomping the mushrooms in the circle.
As the circle is destroyed, you are freed from your enchantment.
Rush to the sun. That's my goal, to get him down.
His eyes look at you weakly, and he repeats what he has said before, which is just, kill me.
Lord. I look to Godbald.
This is your call to make because I'm bleeding and I'm focused on my injuries.
And he looks like he's just as bad as the others that have gone.
Many of them have much more advanced. This one is less serious.
Oh, maybe Leofold can heal you or work his wisdom. There still might be a chance.
Let him go. He's suffered enough.
I look to the father. I put the spear to him, and then I'll just run the spear through under his chin up into his head.
The spores explode out of the back of his head, and his skull falls forward on your blade where you've impaled it, and you thrust it out. You rip it out. And around you is a scene of such horrendous carnage, you couldn't have imagined that you'd ever see something like this in your life.
Now, in the center, you said there's a spring?
Yes.
Father, I want to burn the ring. You should try to poison or purify the spring.
Well, I've smashed the ring, but...
Well, you've broken it, but I want everything inside to be burned. Think of all these spores.
They're just dust.
It's a million rings. They're seeds. Remember what the madwoman said about the true earth and its court.
Burn it all. Leofeld, can you attend to me?
I will bless the spring, holy water.
You place a drop of holy water in the spring, and like it like soap and oil, it seems to like glide across its surface, and not sink into it and mix.
I don't think it's water.
I might be might be a little winded, but Father, I don't know if this is any place of gods. I think we should get out of here.
Is it safe to take the Thane's son's body back, Leoflad?
I wouldn't touch these things or bring them into the world of day. We have the gold rings and the silver clasp.
Very well. Very well.
If you can wait until we set the place aflame, I would happily see to your injury. All of you, keep your eyes out for the demon girl.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. I have my sword ready.
Oh, how have I forgotten all that? Oh.
I think
the day.
And given that if everyone can get out of the ring, I think if I've covered at this point, half of the thing, I'll go into the center and plunge the torch into the fountain.
When you plunge the torch into the fountain, you hear a voice. And it says, "I will make humanity sick for this."
Do only I hear that?
Yeah.
Is it in English or Chimeric? Or is it in a soul language that I...
Yeah. It's much closer to the bone than language.
I've angered this place. I'm not sorry about that, but we should go.
Yes, let's go back and then raise an army and burn this whole place to the ground.
Tree by
tree. This is an evil wood.
Clear this land. Outside of the ring, though, I should probably attend to Godbold's wounds, at least simply. I have honey and clean linen here.
Thank you.
It's worth a first aid roll. 28 for 75 is hard.
We shall not speak of the events that occurred right here when we talked to the Thane.
What will we tell him?
We'll tell them that we've recovered the gold bracers and that we were unable to find his son.
Yeah, if we just don't mention the fact that I was dancing below his dying son, that'd be, I appreciate that.
If you give him an answer like that, he's going to want to know why we didn't continue looking for his son.
I gotta just say, well, we could say he found him dead. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be honest.
Say we found traces of him at the cannibals.
Very well, Father.
It's the cannibals who are to blame on some level.
And we
But we
Had
haven't
revenge.
killed the cannibals.
No.
It's true.
Do we leave that out?
The
Or
two
the crazy
things.
girl.
then we
Okay.
can come back with more soldiers to hunt those
We can
cannibals
figure this
down.
out. We can figure this out on the way back.
Let us be out of this damned forest.
And with that, you return to Totbar. The Thane is in grief, of course, at the loss of his son, but the relationship between Corduwon and Totbar has been healed, even if there was a miserable cost. That concludes this adventure.
Cool. Now tell us what was going on.
Okay. Horig is the spirit that possesses this bear, and is the thing that they worshipped, the charcoal burners worshipped. It lives beneath the forest floor, fomenting disease and rot. It's served both by depraved humans and creatures out of the darkest recesses of folklore. The godlike being subsists on sacrifices. The recent political turmoil brought Horig new food, 2 delegations, the Anglo-Saxon and the Cymric, who have both fallen into its clutches.
Cool.
As simple as that. It rarely really calls out for a sequel because the worshippers are still out there. He threatened our delegation for interfering.
But we can worry about that after Colby gets married. Because I'm sure the reward was plenty enough to purchase that necklace.
That's right.
Even from you.
Even from me. I mean, I was tempted to confess to the father that I'm not so honest in my dealings with my fellow man, but gotta keep at least a few sins to yourself. Keep things interesting.
We could start our own group called, I don't know, Delta Verde. All right, cool. Our players included Stuart Lively, Morgan Llewellyn, David Gasway, Keith Craig, Alex Sun, and myself, with Chase Capener as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.